And yeah, that's a good warning for everybody that's eating their lunch right now.
I've lost my appetite.
Hello friends, Trace Amounts of Science. We're back into some r/Neckbeard stories today. I realized that Val sorta got left in the dust with like the whole Nasty Norman series and stuff like that. And yeah, I don't want it to be that way, so we're gonna open it back up, do part number 2 today. I hope that it will be thoroughly enjoyed, and let's get into it right now. Also, hey, thanks for being here. The Hairy Summer! Monsters of Depravity! Which is basically just every theater kid. They were all competing. They didn't realize that they were competing, but they definitely are. The Freshly Pricked Prince, 3 weeks toward opening night. Scumbanger sauntered into the theater holding a large bag of frozen peas over his crotch. Hud laughed out loud. My man, you finally got the vasectomy? About time, Hoburger. Part of me is grateful for that. Don't pollute the gene pool any further. Scumbanger snickered, tossed the bag of frozen peas into a nearby seat, shucked his lightweight sweatpants, and revealed his freshly pricked Prince Albert. Oh, yeah, he's still out there polluting the gene pool. The head was red and slightly swollen. A bedazzled hoop swooped into his pee hole and through the underside of the head. God, this makes me cringe. I don't like that. I don't like that too much. Okay, really super fucking neat. Now put it away forever. Scumbanger reveled in the attention and stood there unapologetically hanging dong until Kip shoved his way through the small crowd to take a gander at Scumbanger's body modification. The director was not impressed. Burger, what were you thinking? That's totally anachronistic. Nobody had piercings there in the 60s. At least not in America. Scumbanger giggled a little and tucked his newly adorned manhood back into his pants. I figure my character's just ahead of his time. Is that a joke? Ahead? It's not bad, honestly. I don't think he did it on purpose, though. Sheila, a former Scumbanger banger, quipped, BS! You think it'll get you laid? Scumbanger raised his eyebrows. Are you up for round 2? Sheila scoffed. Dream on, speed racer. Can you even do it with a fresh peen ring? Because I think not. He'd be willing to try. Scumbanger adjusted himself and retrieved the bag of frozen peas to hold against his sore crotch. I figured it'd be subtle. Maybe some cutie in the audience will catch a glimpse of the glimmer and want to see it up close. Or maybe one of you lovely, half the cast, the legitimately straight dudes, the happily attached few, and the dudes and gals who had already fallen for Scumbanger's smarmy charm and bedded the buffoon, groaned dismissively. But many of the others felt tingles in their nethers. You need to shove that down right now before you make the worst fucking mistake of your life. Where is your common sense and decency? Scumbanger could sense those tingles, and he surreptitiously winked at his future bedfellows one by one, making sure that each of them thought that they were the only person that he had winked at. Kip shook his head. Scumbanger was always in the middle of some backstage scandal, or trying to put unsanctioned sexy spins onto his character. Or pulling his dong out in the middle of rehearsal. Yeah, why does that guy not get fired? That seems like a pretty easy choice to make. We're avoiding a lawsuit right now. The piercing really was just the latest in a long line of cries for attention that Scumbanger emitted, despite drowning in attention of a variety of sorts from every angle. Had this man not been blessed with good looks and talent oozing from every pore, I really don't know how he would have survived without people constantly fawning over him. I mean, probably he wouldn't have. I only feel like I'm really living when people are looking at me. Watch the things I do. Aren't I a crazy character? And I mean, yeah, sorta, but also you're trying way too hard. Anyway, then again, perhaps he would have just been forced to develop, like, a genuine personality as opposed to a well-rehearsed seduction script. And then he doesn't even know what to do when it gets to Act 3. He's like, there's a climax? And she's like, not for me. Just as the kerfuffle Over Scumbanger's peen bling was simmering down, and people were starting to get into position for the top of Act 2, Thomas loudly proclaimed, I had a Prince Albert once that's gonna take forever to heal, baby boy, and it's still gonna be all sore and swollen when we open. Scumbanger rolled his eyes. Not if I bathe, malodorous Margaret. Damn, dude. Really just jabs being thrown back and forth. You love to see it. Little bit of bloodshed, huh? Thomas feigned shock. If you keep stripping away your skin cells, you're gonna get rashes all over your beautiful body. And then he scratched at his own rancid crotch. Yeah, I don't like this not too much. It was Wolf's turn to butt in, so he strolled over as he held up his sagging, oversized basketball shorts with one hand and said, Yo, Tommy girl, you a top, right? Thomas nodded. Yes, honey. I might look fishy because of all the injections I get in my fabulous face, but when it comes to the booty, I'm the one that gives the injection. Okay, thanks for sharing. He stood behind one of the seats in the audience and gregariously mimed aggressive buggery. Well, that's not necessary at all. Please stop doing it. We're gonna have to take him outside. Wolf made a face. So, you ain't clean as shit, and you're packing dudes' butts, and you wonder why I got infected? Thomas huffed, and he stepped away from the violated seat. It didn't get infected, Minnie Moody. It just took forever to stop oozing green gunk. Yeah, that means it's infected. You think a weeping wound after a piercing is normal? It's not. Wolf made another face, and Scumbanger protectively cupped his precious crotch. Thomas laughed. You should see your faces. It wasn't that bad. Jeez. Then a smirk warped Thomas' resting Botox bitch face. Hey, which one of you do you think could make the vilest vine by this time next week? I want to have a contest. Yes, let's all get together and shit up the internet. We'll make some content that is just deplorable. Great idea. Count me in. I guess I have somewhat built a channel on it, but it's not explicit video or anything like that, which I know the Vine is going to be. Even if it's only 9-10 seconds, okay? It's agony. Wolf and Scumbanger seemed confused. Vine? Thomas rolled his eyes. Okay, not so much a Vine as like an adult video. Dude, no. What? No. No!
I am not going up there.
I'm talking about doing some dirty stuff, like seriously effed up. All kinds of wrong stuff with anybody we want, and we film it, and we pick 3 rando judges and see who's the real queen of skeeve. It'll be like American Idol, but for amateur butt stuff. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that I hate everything that you just said right now. What's the prize if you win? Scumbanger shrugged. I don't pitch, I only catch, so I'm good to get boned. It'd have to be a dude, though. Maybe I could get a girl to put one on and like... Thomas shushed him. Shh, boy, girl, who cares? Just make it super wrong. Mine's gonna be a boy. Wolf's is gonna be a girl. Gross. Yours could be like a wild card. Thomas licked his collagen-filled lips and slithered closer to Scumbanger. Perfidious as he seemed, Scumbanger was an attractive man, and Thomas' plan was to use this little contest to get Scumbanger into the sack at last. Yeah, that was clear as day. How was anybody involved with this conversation not realizing that yet? As he continued to slither closer, Thomas hissed some trite flirtation that drifted atop some seductively spicy and smoky halitosis. Unless you want the best of both worlds. The rank queen fluttered his flawless eyelash extensions. Scumbanger recoiled. Ugh, in your dreams, princess, he scoffed. You smell. I don't sleep with smelly people. It's probably a good rule. Thomas seemed crestfallen, however, and his flirtatious duck lips and fluttering eyelash extensions swiftly morphed back into that resting Botox bitch face. Wolf, on the other hand, had a wry smile on his deceptively cute face. Yo, I just met me a new boo thing. Honey gonna let me blast that butt. Hey, scumbanger, I bet her rosebud gonna be like bigger and redder than yours. Unless you give it up to the putrid princess over there. Think your rosebud gonna have some nasty, gnarly green leaves growing all around it. Scumbanger chuckled and said, My starfish is bleached, baby Bryson. Again, thank you so much for sharing. Chrissy had been listening to this exchange and waffling between silent laughter and utter disgust. She finally landed on utter disgust, seeing as how she had had a pretty big crush on Wolf when she first met him at the audition, and he seemed to like her back. It seemed like a spark had ignited, and then he revealed his proclivities, and yeah, there went that spark. You guys are disgusting, she said as she hopped off the back of her seat and made her way to the stage. Scumbanger couldn't resist the chance to remind her of their one-time tryst. Was it so disgusting when... Chrissy cut him off. Yeah, you weren't talking about your bleached butthole when I made that mistake.
Name's Artemis. I have a bleached ass.
Scumbanger cozied up to Chrissy and crooned, As long as I'm your favorite mistake. Not even close. She pivoted away from him and found herself face to face with Wolf, and he took her hand. Come on now, homegirl. You know WWF wouldn't be a mistake. He's spelling his name. It's like the third person, but even more redundant and stupid. Chrissy snatched her hand away and glared at her former crush. My butt begs to differ. She darted upstage and sat down next to Jeannie, who asked what the gutter-minded guys were going on about. Chrissy shrugged. I don't know, I think they're having like some sort of butt-broking contest or something. Jeannie started laughing and enthused. One of them should call up the creepy old mustache man and get him to bust out his giant fake ding-a-ling. That's good. That's a nice throwback. The girls laughed rather unkindly at the gutter-minded guys and, of course, at Nasty Norman. Meanwhile, Thomas regained his composure, flipped his hand at Scumbanger, and insisted that he'd totally been joking about the two of them hooking up. The up-the-butt players agreed to find 3 impartial weirdos to judge their repulsiveness. They initially called the contest Asmerican Idol. Place your bets, readers and listeners. Who is the nastiest of them all? Will it be Wolf and his butt-blasting fixation? Scumbanger and his willingness to do almost anything for attention? Or Thomas? Keep in mind that they're planning on filming this disgustingness, so we can't factor in his funk. Then again, other forms of filth can absolutely be captured on camera. Yeah, I don't want to participate in this at all.
I'm not sure I'm interested in that. No, I am sure. I am not interested in that.
This sounds like one gigantic long mistake. Like there's supposed to be a joke at the end, but nobody laughs. It's just gross. Now, please understand that I can't always hitch a ride out of the theater, and I don't have an immortal family member on every wall in the world, although I'd love to meet the badasses that escaped from Bogica's House of Horrors. Yeah, I hope we get more Bogica soon. Anyway, this next exceptionally repulsive bit is secondhand, and one of the idol contestants apparently found some sicko with a decent enough camera who was willing to hide out in their bedrooms and secretly film the filth that they get up to. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's illegal. Let's just call him Sicko and agree that it doesn't matter how the contestant found him. Craigslist. That's how. But why? Why were these bizarre butt munches so hyped to have this repulsive contest? Yeah, I'm also mystified about that. Is there a gigantic cash prize at the end or something? That part I could at least partially understand. OP says, well, Thomas honestly believed that it would increase his chances of getting with Scumbanger. Plus, he liked the attention. Scumbanger enjoyed any conquest, and he was not about to be upstaged by smelly spice. Plus, he liked the attention. As for Wolf, Wolf was, well, just obsessed with the back door. Camera, no camera, contest, no contest. He just wanted to do some butt stuff, and yeah, he also liked the attention. It's kind of a common theme with the theater kids, you see. Before I continue, I must warn you all, if you're squeamish about poop or regurgitation or infected junk or dude-on-dude action, then just run. Run! I mean, keep letting the video play because we don't want to negatively impact the watch time, but, mute it if you're sensitive to revolting description of intimate oopsies. And yeah, that's a good warning for everybody that's eating their lunch right now.
I've lost my appetite.
Apologies to ReddX if this calls for heavy edits. I mean, it's basically just terrible pornography stuff from here on in, or maybe more like erotica? No, definitely not. It's smut! This next section is SMUT of the vilest variety. Was that a sufficient warning? Oh man, I'm gonna have to change some things out here, I'm sure. We're gonna get really colorful with the descriptions in a sidelong way. And now we get into the contest. Thomas insisted on going first, and swore that there was some horned-up old queen that had been begging to bet him every Tuesday night at the drag club when he did the after-hours show. Thomas hadn't been especially interested, but he figured that old queen was a sure thing, and it was sure to be extra disgusting, which, as you might remember, is a good thing in this case. Most people avoid it actively, but not these three degenerates. Plus, he knew that he needed some random boom-boom to take away the sting of being rejected by Scumbanger. So he finally flirted back, even though he knew he could do better given just a little more time. But the old queen was so delighted by Thomas' reciprocation that his face seemed to lift a full inch, revealing the fake freckles that had been lost in his wrinkles. Everybody's just pretending to be somebody they're not, I mean, that's true for everybody, but especially for the theater people, I guess I'll call them. That gave Thomas something to comment on. Look at you with your little freckles. You're just so cute. The fake freckle-faced old fart floated a fantasy atop the sweet clove smoke that whirled from his withered lips. I could just eat you up, pretty lady. Thomas lifted his sequin miniskirt and brandished his freshly untucked stick. Oh man, that's nasty. He's been all taped up in there. Having been tightly duct taped between a pair of cheeks that were perpetually smattered with specks of spicy leavings for the better part of the evening, yeah, the stick was extra ripe, even for Thomas. But the old queen's sense of smell, well, it wasn't all that keen, especially because he's a smoker, and he assumed that the unusual colors that adorned the private appendage were either deliberate decorations or mild irritation from the tuckage. So the old queen gleefully agreed to follow Thomas back to his disgusting little hovel near Dodge Street. What a lucky guy! I mean, really, he's just a pawn in the master plan, but I don't know. Everybody's gotta play their role, I guess. When the odd pair entered the awful-smelling dwelling, Thomas swished over to the bed, whipped it out, and told the eager old queen exactly what to do with it. As the vile contestant licked the palm of his hand, in order to generate some stimulation, because he felt exactly zero attraction to this geezer he was preparing to bone, a large, loose scab flaked off and stuck to the foul-smelling spittle coating the fingers that were greasing up his weasel. What do you do with the scab? Just eat around it? What the hell? In addition to the scaly adornments, Thomas still had the piercing holes where his Prince Albert had been, so he essentially had two pee holes, both of which were a little crusty with some sort of dong boogers. I hate this. Oh my god, why? I'm pretty sure it's just pus. Green infected pus. The crust that was flaking from around the hairless base seemed to be a formerly frothy fusion of fluids. This bit of crust had a pinkish-brown hue, similar to the butt-pucker pink lipstick shade that was all the rage back then, only there was a certain pearlescence to that crust. And where the large, scaly, slightly shiny scab that now stuck to his finger had been, a somewhat translucent fluid with a chartreuse hue began to ooze down the shorn sack. God, I hate this, dude. Please don't do it. I think we need to just... Can I bail out? I haven't done it on a story before, but I'm worried about this one on, like, multiple levels, okay? It's not gonna go well. Save me. Help's not coming, is it? Okay, nevertheless, the ravenous senior citizen licked his thin lips, growled, and dove right into the danger zone. But after only a few moments, the poor old guy began to gag, and there was a rumbling in his sensitive old man tummy. And then, without warning, the weak bit of carnal pleasantness that had been bolstering Thomas' ego ceased. One sensation was replaced with another, and Thomas' mind, which had been languishing in a spicy fantasy about Scumbanger, snapped back to the unpleasant reality where some creamy greenish gloop was being ejected from the old queen all over the ashtray of a floor and the already pungent hot pink cheetah print bedspread. That is so garish. What the frick? And that was when the old queen officially quit his job, eructated, and unleashed a torrent of green chunder. The old queen screamed with shame and clamped a hand over his upchuckety mouth, smearing his fake freckles all over his Ralph-riddled, sunken-in cheeks, struggling to rise from the kneeling position, 'cause old knees, you know, but he made it and shuffled to the bathroom to get the rest of the poison out. Of course, he locked the door out of embarrassment. And so Thomas, who actually now wanted to take a shower for the first time in forever, couldn't get into his own bathroom. It's a cruel irony, isn't it? As he pounded furiously on the door, Thomas raged, "Open the door! You just upchucked everywhere, you nasty old man!" Nasty old man continued to heave and cough, and then he apparently tripped Thomas' janky bidet, causing a skinny stream of pukey water to shoot into his already watery eyes. "Dagnabbit!" he screeched. "I've been blinded! Help me!" You locked the door. How am I supposed to help you? Thomas rolled his eyes. "I can't help you if you don't open the frickin' door." He heard the old man crying a bit between bubbles. Thomas wasn't great with empathy, but he decided that continuing to berate the old guy was probably pointless. Plus, the night already had been hella gross, and that was the whole point. Maybe Scumbanger would find it funny, gain some respect for Thomas, desperately want to prove that he was a far better lover than the Barfield man, and finally bend for the putrid princess. The Sticky Queen smiled at the thought and sighed, "It's fine. I'm just having a contest with some other guys, and your sick old mouth just won me a Grand Supreme, bitch." The old man muttered a half-hearted, "I'm sorry." I always feel bad for old people, but an old man in a compromising situation like that, I guess he did it to himself, but holy hell, he truly didn't know what he was in for. Thomas slapped the door one more time to purge out that last tinge of frustration. "I'm not even that mad, honey. Like I said, I just won the contest thanks to you. I owe you, so come out and let me wash my unicorn horn, and I'll take you out on a real date." He glanced down at his legs and crotch. "Wait, is this like that spinach and artichoke stuff from the Olive Garden?" The old man grunted affirmatively. Thomas shuddered, completely gave up on trying to get the pukey old man out of his bathroom, and begrudgingly removed a crap ton of dirty dishes from his kitchen sink. The dishes, despite soaking in the reddish-brown water for weeks, were still partially caked with the remnants of Thomas' greasy and super spicy Chinese takeouts. so the water smelled of mildew, stale Szechuan, fermented noodles, and rotten tofu. Lovely. Why would you not empty that into the trash? You just put dishes in the sink all with food on it, you animal? Nevertheless, Toma did climb up onto the countertop, scooched toward the sink, and finally sank down into that dingy dishwater. Not even fresh water from the tap? My God, you can't fix this. He winced as the filthy sludge sloshed over his open sores. God damn! As he tried to wash the recycled Olive Garden feast from his body. He was rather tall, so he had to fold himself up to fit in the sink, but at least he was skinny and bendy. Sicko done a good job of filming the whole ordeal, including the dirty dishwater bath. And the old man had been too laser focused on his hookup to even notice the cameraman's presence. Toma was off to a strong lead. Yeah, and also the thing he did is illegal, which I guess in this situation is better? Is more depraved? There's layers to this, you see. Anyway, next up was Wolf. His new lady, we'll call her Rhea. She was quite lovely, and no stranger to, butt things. She'd done it enough time to know that it had a size limit. Seeing as Wolf was a pocket person, she figured that, she could accommodate. So they went out for beer floats. Not root beer floats. Beer floats. And they had some loaded up nachos at Caliente. They flirted over tequila shots. They kissed. Snorted up some lines. Then went back to his place, fired up Netflix, and quote-unquote chilled, as some people might say. Soon enough, they took things to the bedroom, where Sicko was hiding in Wolf's closet, filming through a small hole that Wolf had drilled for him. Jesus, dude. This is awful. Everybody involved with this shit, absolutely terrible.
What the hell is wrong with you people?
But I guess that's the point. When they took to the bed, Wolf immediately went to town, tossing a salad. He thought it was the best thing ever and imagined that he was going to blow her mind with his mad skills. Instead, she was kind of just tolerating it, waiting to get to the other stuff. And then, as his tongue probed, a fart slipped out of the salad bowl and right into his mouth. Surely this had happened before, but apparently not. Wolf recoiled, slightly offended by the broken wind. Yo, you just went past in my face! Rhea blinked. Sorry, didn't mean to, but I'm surprised you weren't into it. The last guy I went home with actually asked me to do it. This bothered Wolf on many levels. What? Oh, you nasty! What kind of friggin' freak show would ask a bitch to do that? Rhea sat up and shrugged. Some tall dude with a grody beard that I met at Beer Goggles. Yes, you might know him as Funky Pea Beard. He's got an entire saga of his own. He's disgusting. Go check it out. I'm taking it upon myself to do a tasteful fade to black right here. We probably should have fade to black this whole section, I don't know if it's going to fly or not. I'm only going to post it after my warning expires, and I feel really brave. We'll hold this one back for a while. It's okay. After some consideration, I've decided that there's really no value in describing these events any further. I believe it's already gotten gross enough, and I also feel like Wolf's behavior toward Rhea borders on several words that I probably shouldn't write. Yeah, thank you for not doing those things, because we will totally get in trouble for it. TLDR, idiot dude who watches too much nography becomes insensitive towards his new lover when she uses her back door for its intended purpose. Idiot dude fails to realize that this mishap could have been avoided if only he had listened to his new lover and taken things more slowly, and perhaps chosen not to eat food or use substances that are famous for turning folks into diarrhea cannons. The only worst thing you could have gotten is Taco Bell. Idiot dude gets ghosted while he's on the toilet with the Coke squirts, and Sicko has stumbled out of the closet and is now getting sick all over the bedroom. Alright, so back to the story. You didn't really miss that much. Rhea was furious, though. She grabbed Wolf's discarded shirt and tried to wipe up the ghastly mashup of bodily fluids from her hair. She folded up her formerly lucky dress, so the upchuck was on the inside, threw on Wolf's cast t-shirt and a pair of his ridiculously oversized basketball shorts, wiggled her feet back into her doomy pumps, shot Sicko a menacing glare, and stormed out. From the bathroom, Wolf called out, "Yo, baby, I didn't mean that. Give me a second. I just, and then we'll, oh, damn, that's no. We'll get back to business, baby. Boo, you still there? Don't be mad." She's a little mad. This is over. Between heaves, Sicko grunted, "She left, dude. Damn, you're a total a-hole." Sitting on the toilet, Wolf retorted with a quip that was so predictable and obvious that, yeah, it's not even the slightest bit funny. But Wolf thought it was hilarious. When the entries were submitted and it was time to crown the Queen of Idol, Queen of Skeeve, Monster of Depravity, whatever the up-the-butt players were calling themselves in this contest by that point, Sicko got some weird dude with a pink beard, some weird dude who drove a Cadillac and loved pie, and some creepy old emo boomer with a beer belly who dressed like Beetlejuice. Oh, I remember all of these characters from past stories and sagas. I put links to every story that OP wrote in the description, and I hope that you'll partake in some of them. Beer-bellied Beetlejuice would go on to copy Thomas' old man's fake freckles poorly. Beetlejuice figured that he was just so much younger that the freckles wouldn't get lost in his very minor wrinkles. Plus, he'd never go downstairs on a dude, so there was no chance of gagging himself and ruining his makeup. Yeah, that's important. The three weirdo judges proceeded to watch Sicko's videos of Thomas and Wolf. Scumbanger had filmed his encounter himself, so that would be the last bit of filth that the weirdos would watch. Thomas was out, since the old man had Ralph before they got to anything. Wolf was still in the running, and the runny mishap in his utterly destroyed bedroom earned him some bonus points from Captain Pinkbeard. Oh, that's Maury, that's right. Wolf grinned until Captain Pinkbeard very quietly and icily stated that he was revoking the bonus points because Wolf needed to learn how to be more of a gentleman. No, it's the depraved stuff, not the gentleman stuff. Ultimately, the judges unanimously voted for Scumbanger, regardless of points or otherwise. Tune in next time as we explore the mystery of what went up Scumbanger's prison pocket. Comment your guesses. Yeah, anything could fit up there. It's going to be such a wonderful and fun time. I can't wait to see how many comments we get about the secret surprise inside. Literally inside. I hope you enjoyed the episode on Sublevel Friends. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Check out the Patreon and the YouTube memberships if you want to help us out month to month. We've also got a fourth wall if you'd like to see our merch. That would be a very helpful thing to do. But if you don't have any extra cash, you could share the video around. I said that once before, but I'll say it again because it's super important. Word of mouth, you can't buy something like that. Whatever you decide to do with the rest of your day, though, I hope that you will remember, friends, that you are loved, you're worthy, you definitely deserve it, and I shall see you in the next one. So until then, bye-bye. Leave that in. Leave all of that in.
Nani baka, nani baka, nani baka, nani baka, nani baka.